Okay, while I was okay with the short not having a voice track behind it, I really just wanted to get it out there so people could see, the exact thing that I did during this siege to make this happen. I was kind of stuck in a bad situation where I couldn't hold the walls for this siege because they were getting at them too fast, and my ranged units didn't really have time to do what they needed to do. So instead of attempt to hold the walls in any way, I abandoned the walls pretty much entirely. I had units sat on them long enough to, get shots out from the towers, but not really doing much. And instead I fell back to this last position, this kind of final position in the Cathay walls siege map, to where I had this really concentrated line of fire where all of my units, pretty much all my units were ranged units at this point, plus some basic melee. I blocked the side, so the AI thought it really needed to come up this ramp in particular just to get up here. And I kind of funneled them into the line of fire for all of my ranged units. I had a lot of the sniper units that you can kind of see firing from the back there. They're essentially a Grand Cathay version of the Jezzail, the Warplock Jezzails. And then I had a ton of crossbows. I also had some of the flintlock muskets, but they didn't really do as much in this. So essentially all the AI is just coming up that center line that you see there, going towards that initial flag at the center that's now turned. Now I'm focusing on it right now, as you can see, and sitting there trying to get all the way up the other side of the ramp, and everything is pelting them as they come up. And there's no way that they can maintain their morale and unit cohesion with all that fire, not just from all of my ranged units, crossbows, snipers, but from the flyer there that's also doing a lot of work. I'm actually sending the flyer off to deal with the dude over on the side here that decided, I want to be different. So this siege, although the autocomplete was going to give me the win, but I was going to lose an entire army worth of level 5, level 6, level 7 units, and I really wasn't okay with that. As you can see, there were a lot of units that were super low health, and I wasn't okay with the Pyrrhic autocomplete. Just absolutely unacceptable. So instead of taking that, I actually, ran this siege a few times, tried to figure out, okay, how does the AI want to approach this siege, and how can I work it to my advantage? And this is what I ended up, actually coming up with, that you not only see right now, but you see in the short itself. I ended up, the siege overall went incredibly well. I only lost, I think, five units total out of 2 armies. The units that you see that have full health, by the way, or mostly full health, are from a reinforcing army. I had to wait about a minute 40, I believe, before they were actually on map. No, 240. But in the end, it worked out incredibly well, to a point where I was able to set the reinforce point right behind where I'm currently set up. I was able to get them in line almost immediately, and there were the only real losses I took were the units that I had stationed on the walls in the first place to slow the enemy down and have them take some damage. Overall, really fun siege. I had a ton of fun with this map. I actually am having a lot of fun with the Grand Cathay units because I love ranged firepower, and I'm really good with kind of using them. But as you can see, the enemy's breaking. They had no cohesion, no unit cohesion or morale as they were coming up the ramp, and it's a easy win. So this was fun. This was a lot of fun. Enjoyed the map a lot.